Hi, my name is Khanjan Dalal and I'm an artist. Um, I think I'm the poster boy of what Biniji was talking about in terms of as a teenager, the kind of problems that you go through. I think I've gone through all of that. I'm still standing here talking to you. And I want to talk about this one thing. Have you heard this generation has not seen Sholay. Has anybody seen Sholay? Okay. Now, apart from that famous dialogue, which was there, like you say that "Tera kya hoga kalia," that's a different thing. There's one more, where there's, you know, Gabbar Singh, अगर तुम दो मारोगे, तो हम चार मारेंगे. Okay. Now, this dialogue is just, it's just buzzing in my head since years and years and years and years. Because what it talks about is the revenge. And you understand algorithm. This revenge is an algorithm, by the way. You need to break that. Okay. So, what happens is that we're always, when we are pushed or when we are hit, or the immediate reaction is that you hit back. It equalizes your mental equilibrium somehow. But it's not always necessary, because that other person who got hit is going to hit you back again with doubles. It's a chain reaction. So what I did was that I had a Gabar and who kind of looted two very dear friends of mine, my mother and another person. And instead of thinking about how to hit him back, I said, Gabar, why don't you talk about yourself? I want to hear how you became Gabar. So I think it's one of those important things that one needs to do if you want to find a way of making peace within as well as outside. Let's talk about the incident. I was going with my mother and a couple of other people, about 15 of them, to America because my mother was invited to do a performance of dance there. And I was 11 years old in 1986. And we took a flight, which that was a carrier called Pan Am Airways, which had a very large aircraft from, so they used to go from Bombay to Karachi, then they'll pick some people from there, then they will go to Frankfurt, then they'll pick up some more people and then go to America. So we board that flight. My father couldn't join us for some reason, which he still regrets, but that's another story. Well, what happens is that at 5 in the morning, when we land in Karachi and we are just taking some more passengers inside, a group of 4 people hijacked the aircraft. And when they hijacked the aircraft, I was sitting at the back of the plane because our tickets got really, I think they were done very late, so I had a back seat. And when I looked at the people coming in, when I woke up and I look, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you really see this. Has anybody seen Rambo? You've seen Sylvester Stallone with this bare chest and black trousers, and so this guy was exactly like, I think he had seen the movie. He really wanted to be like that. So, so he was dressed like with a band like that, and there was a belt of grenades on his vest, and he was using a Kalashnikov rifle at point. Eventually what happens is that during the day there are lots of ordeals and lots of communication between the authorities in Pakistan, trying to convince them to let it go. We could not fly. That was one of the more important thing, was that we couldn't fly because as soon as they entered, the pilots realized and they ran away. They have an emergency exit in the cockpit. So it took that and ran away. Therefore, the flight never took off. which was lucky because it was considered as, there's a theory that it was a suicide mission. What happens is that around 7 o'clock, there's a backup generator in the, every aircraft has a backup generator. Starts going on to that for any kind of power supply. The fuel in that generator started running out. These people did not understand what was happening, so they called all the people who were sitting at the back, come in the front, sit in the aisle, both the aisles, and said, you just sit there. And have you seen this pose that everybody, when you are at a gunpoint, they ask you to do something, which is something like this. Okay, so everybody was asked to do this and sit. Me being very small, my mother said that, you sit in front of me and you lay your head on my lap and I'll just sit like this. So okay. Lights go off and they have no idea what to do, so they start firing. When they start firing, they also use small grenades to throw and all. In that chaos, like a lot of people get hurt, 19 people died in that, including my mother. I do not have a memory of that, because I think the darkness was a lot. Secondly, it's my survival kit. This is how you survive. So, bunch of people who were sitting near the doors started opening the emergency exits. So I was asked that you run towards an emergency exit and then you onto the slide. Much to my hard luck, I land up on an emergency exit that was on the wing. 747 wings are about 15 feet high. So quite a lot of people were jumping from the wind and they're breaking their legs. I was just about to do that, and can I have the slide? You see that man on the first here, on the left, that is Suresh Jairam. He is from Chennai, and he was right behind me and he just pulled me back like that. And said, you don't do this because you'll break your legs. Put me back into the aircraft. I run again, because going back to the aircraft is going back to those guys again. So it's a difficult situation for you, Still, you gather all the strength that you have. You know that you do not have your mother with you. You do not know where are all these other 15 people. You still run. You go through the slide. I meet the guy who's sitting in the middle there. His name is Mehul Shah. He was with us. He's like my brother. And he finds me and he asks me that, where is mummy? So I say, I don't know. I don't think she survived. So he says, I'll go back and see if it's true or not. I said, you can't climb back. You need to go wherever everybody's directing you to. So we all go to a terminal building and we start looking for people who were with us. By then, there were suggestions that, you take a truck and go to all the hospitals that are in Karachi to look for your beloveds and people who are traveling with you. So this is one of the backup pickup trucks that took us to all the hospitals. A woman in the right passed away 3 minutes later. She had a bullet in her stomach. That is me after Suresh in the middle. Pipe. Find a way, we find people, we get together, and Rajiv Gandhi sent a special aircraft to pick us up from Karachi and bring it back to Bombay. We do that. That's when I was told that she's no more, and that was about it. What happens later is what is interesting. Um, PTSD, as everybody knows, that is post-traumatic disorder, right? Right. Everybody goes through that. You're very angry. You're very frustrated. You don't know why you're crying. In my case, I would bang doors, and things started happening really worst for me. My father tried talking to me about things, which eventually didn't work. So he put me to a professional help. Guys, this is most important thing. You need to recognize PTSD if there is. And at that time there were very few people who were able to actually deal with this kind of trauma. So fortunately my father had found somebody. And I'm very thankful to that fact that he found. So I would request everybody here, all parents, to, if you see certain kind of effect like that, please do not hesitate to seek professional help. That is what will deliver, that is what will be able to give you the correct result that you're looking for. I'm standing here, so I'm just saying that. Now, what happens is that at the age of 14, I was a terrible child about those lots of problems, lots of issues, but still I used to go to my shrink and I would talk to her for 3 days a week, and it was a kind of a back channel. It helped me a lot in terms of understanding what was happening to me. See, psychology does not cure you. It gives you a tool to handle yourself. Okay? There is no cure for all these things. But when things go wrong, there is somebody who goes out of you and realizes, oh, I am doing this. So it stops you. So I think the best thing ever happened to me was that tool, the set of tools that was given to me by her. And when then I joined fine arts, because I thought that it would be great if I come from a business family, but I was the first one to say that, okay, I'm just going to follow my instinct and I need this. So I think creativity is the second thing that really, really delivers in such, if you've gone through trauma, if you've had mental issues, if you had stress issues, there is no other thing than creativity, that outlet, that kind of cathartic feeling or approach that it can give you is just amazing. So I did fine arts, and when I completed my courses and I was a freelance artist, I still used to go to my psychiatrist, and she said that, Khanjan, you make you're an image maker, you make paintings. I said, yeah, I do. I said, have you tried using your hands? I said, no, what do you mean? I said, why don't you try clay? Maybe it'll work better. That was it. I found that clay helped me more than any other medium. And I would really recommend that if you have a program in school should have programs which dealing with basic material like clay is the most essential thing. It's so de-stressing. There is no other, I've not found any other outlet where it is so well delivers that. Um, 2005. Meanwhile, I'm just talking about this now. So in 2005, the leader was named Zayed Hassan Safarini. He was a Palestinian who wanted certain prisoners that were kept in Cyprus by the US government. They wanted them to release, and in bargain they would leave the aircraft. Didn't happen that, but eventually he was in the jail in Pakistan. Apparently he got released from that because they can't keep, Pakistan has this thing where that they can't keep for more than 20 years, they can't keep somebody in there. So they released it. CIA actually detains him in Bangkok, which was still contested because you cannot legally do that. But so I would say that it was, whether it is legally detained or illegally detained is another issue. Transports him to America and starts a trial on him. That is when we were all again contacted back. They say that, okay, you give your testimonies and things like that. So, okay, all right, let's give it. I could not travel, so I sent my mama, my mother's brother, and he gave his testimony, and he's sent for 160 years, non-bailable. That is his sentencing. 2014, has anybody seen NEERJA? That is the movie that was made on the same thing. Okay. Now, the writers came to all of us and said that we want to make this movie, and then could you give your story? So we all gave our stories and what happened according to us. And it suddenly struck me that I gave my story. Everybody is giving their own story. What is this guy's story? He's still in jail. He's never going to get out of the jail. I at least want to know, whatever he did, what was that reason? So they have a system where you could write to them, and they would, if they want to reply back to you, you have to go through that safe server, and then you send the mail in that. The prison warden checks that, and then it is passed on to him. So I wrote a letter to him, say that I am such and such, and I want to know what kind of life you've had and all that. Third mail was, I am sorry. That sorry changed me, because it is the most important sorry that I always wanted to hear. Whenever, you will also notice this, whenever there is a fight, whenever there is a problem, when you let that guard down and you say, I'm sorry for whatever that, if I have hurt you, I'm sorry. That sorry changes things. It changed me. I said, I'm going to give him more chance. I want to know what this guy is. So I wrote a couple of letters back to him and things like that. Then I told him that, see, this film is being made. Okay. I want to know what is your opinion. So can I send you the story that I have? I said, sure. I said, I can't send you the story directly, but my brother in Jordan will send you the story. I said, okay. So there's an online copy of his own life story that came to me. When he was 5 years old, he was raised in Kuwait. He used to go to school, and then the teachers would say, okay, 9 minus 4 is what? So he couldn't answer that. So the teacher said, okay, if I give you 9 Israelis, and if you kill 4 of them, how many are left? immediately said 5. This is how hatred is given to you as a child in your mind. And he said that very clearly, that this is how it started for me. And it's a very interesting story. It's a story from a terrorist. We call it a terrorist, but for him, he's a freedom. There's a saying, no, that one person's terrorist is other person's freedom fighter. It's true. It is very true. And I see that. And then you look at that community's struggle to have something is humongous. Then you build that empathy inside you. And I'm like, okay, but his bullet killed my mom. Yes, that's a circumstance. Man, आदमी खराब नहीं होता है, circumstances उसको बनाता है. Remember that. Okay, so whatever that situation you are in, if you don't have the tool to evaluate that situation, you're going to just follow that same algorithm that he followed and the other people follow. He will kill 2 here, then the other will kill another 3 of his, then another will kill 5 of that. It just goes on. It just goes on. It creates this kind of mess. Okay. So it just occurred to me that point of time that if I have to let it go, what will I have to do? I will have to let it go eventually. So I told myself that I'm going to write him one final letter and say that whatever that you did, those were your circumstances. In my mind, I let you go. And that let you go, that forgiving is the greatest act of kindness. One must think about these things. In future, there are going to be a lot of conflicts, a lot of issues between nations and people and things like that, which is simply because we're just too many. So the younger generation, if you want peace, if you want stability, if you want to be contented, learn to forgive. Learn to forgive things and move on. That's all. Thank you.